In this video, we are going to talk about one very important question in goat farming. And that question is, how many goats should you start with as a beginner? Many people rush into goat farming and buy too many goats at once. Others start with only one goat and later realize it was not enough. So today, let us talk slowly, step by step, about what number is best and why starting small is often the smartest way to begin. First, let us agree on something. Goat farming is a business. And like any business, it starts small, it grows, and then becomes bigger with time. You do not need to start with 100 goats to succeed. In fact, many successful goat farmers today began with just a few goats and learned along the way. The goal is not to start big, the goal is to start right. So let us begin with the most common advice. For most beginners, starting with between 5 and 20 goats is usually the best range. This number is not too small and not too big. It is manageable. You can observe the goats, understand their behavior, and learn how to care for them without being overwhelmed. Let us break this down further. If you have very little money or you are just testing the idea of goat farming, then starting with 5 goats is a good beginning. You might choose one male goat, also called a buck, and 4 female goats, called does. The females are the main producers because they give birth and grow your herd. Now imagine this. If each female goat gives birth to 2 kids in 1 year, you already have 8 new goats. That means your total goats may grow from 5 to 13 in just one breeding season, and that is without buying any more goats. You can already see how small beginnings can grow. But what if you have a little more money, more land, and maybe some experience with animals? Then you can start with 10 to 20 goats. This number is still safe for beginners. It allows you to learn farming, but the income and growth will also be faster. However, you must remember that the bigger the herd, the more feed, housing, and care they need. Now, let us talk about why starting small is better than starting big. When you begin goat farming, you are still learning. You are learning how to feed goats properly. You are learning about diseases, vaccinations, breeding, birth, and record keeping. You are also learning about the market and how to sell. If you make mistakes with a small herd, the losses are small. But if you start with 50 or 100 goats and something goes wrong, the losses can be very painful. So, starting small protects you while you learn. Another benefit of starting small is building confidence. At first, you may feel unsure. You may ask yourself, am I doing this right? But as you take care of a few goats, as you see them grow healthy and strong, your confidence also grows. You begin to feel like a real farmer. Then you are ready to expand. Now, let us talk about space. Many people forget that goats need space. If your land is small, do not overcrowd. Overcrowding causes stress, disease, and fighting among goats. A small herd needs less land and is easier to manage. When you finally expand, you will already understand how much space you truly need. Feeding is also an important reason to start small. Goats love grazing, browsing bushes, and eating leaves. But in the dry season, you may need to buy or store feed. If you have too many goats, feeding costs may become too high. A small herd allows you to plan your feeding system slowly and wisely. Another thing beginners must think about is time. Goats need daily care. You must check their health. You must clean their shelter. You must watch them during kidding season. You must protect them from predators. If you are new, a big herd can be stressful. A small herd is easier and gives you time to learn good habits. Now let us talk about breeding planning. When starting, it is better to focus on females. For example, if you start with 10 goats, maybe 9 should be females and 1 male. The females are your real investment. Each one can produce new life every year. That is where your profit and herd growth come from. Some farmers do not keep a buck. Instead, they rent a buck when needed. This is also a smart option, especially if you are starting with fewer goats. It reduces costs and avoids aggressive behavior from male goats. Record keeping is another reason why small beginnings work best. In goat farming, you must track births, sickness, vaccination, and sales. When you have 10 goats, it is easy to remember everything. But when you have 50 goats, you need strong management skills. So small herds help you develop discipline. Let us also talk about learning from mistakes. Maybe one day you will feed the wrong thing, or a goat may escape, or you may delay treatment. These mistakes happen even to experienced farmers. With fewer goats, you have time to react and learn without huge losses. Another important point is cash flow. When you start small, your expenses are low. You do not need very large housing. You do not need too many workers. You do not buy too much feed. This makes your business easier to control. As income starts coming in, you grow slowly and safely. Now let us paint a picture. Imagine you start with 10 female goats. After 1 year, most of them give birth to twins. That means around 20 kids. Even if you lose a few, your herd may grow to around 25 or 30 goats total, including the mothers. The next year, the new females may also produce kids. In just 2 to 3 years, your farm can grow naturally, without huge loans and without pressure. This is the power of goat farming. So, what is the final answer to the question? For most beginners, start with 5 to 20 goats. Focus mainly on females, learn as you grow, and expand step by step. Do not copy other farmers blindly. Look at your land, look at your money, look at your time, and choose a number that is comfortable for you. This is my Journey Story to Goats project. I always thought of rearing goats ever since my childhood, following the too much love I have for goats. Few years ago, I thought of starting small with the little money that I had. I bought 5 female goats and one male one. I started rearing them in my father's land. As I gained experience, each month I could buy one doe for 5 months, making a total of 10 does and one buck. Guess what? In the seventh month, all the first 5 does conceived. And that's how my farm grew gradually, with good managemental skills, patience, and learning every day from my mistakes. Remember, success in goat farming is not about how many goats you start with. Success is about good management, patience, and learning every day. So take your time, start wisely, and let your goats and your knowledge grow together. Thank you for watching, and I wish you success in your goat farming journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next video.